Hello and welcome. This video is brought to you by thestreamingadvisor.com. Tailor your entertainment with streaming. As we go into the fall of 2023, there's going to be a lot of trouble finding the brand new shows because some things just haven't gotten ready for the fall calendar because of the strike. And what we're going to talk about is an alternative. What are some free channels that you can use on your Roku and find things to watch during the fall? And we're going to start with Sling TV. You might be like, wait a second, Sling TV, that's a paid service. It does have a paid service, but if you don't have an account at all, you notice it says sign in up there, you can just jump right into what's called Sling Free. Sling Free has a lot of choices of TV shows where maybe they have a couple of episodes of something, maybe they have a whole season run. Depending on what sort of programming you're talking about, you can find all kinds of things to just enjoy, kill time with. So you got a couple of episodes of Rick and Morty there. But there is tons of libraries that Sling TV actually has a hold of that allow you to watch movies, TV shows, and a lot of things from over the years that you can catch on demand, and even with what they would call live TV. Anywhere you find live TV, most of the time it's going to be pre-scheduled, pre-programmed entertainment. It's not necessarily a live channel, but in some cases it is. You'll see that throughout this video. The next channel we're going to take a look at, because you can't not talk about Pluto TV, is Pluto TV. How could you leave a channel like that out of the free stuff, right? So, Pluto TV, it's owned by Paramount. Paramount Incorporated, they're the ones who own Paramount Plus and Viacom and Paramount Studios. So Pluto TV reflects that in its selections. You'll see a lot of channels on its live channel section dedicated to TV shows from things like Nickelodeon or MTV. It has a wide range of categories, and it has an excellent on-demand section that's pretty expansive. You'll notice this local news isn't necessarily local unless you specifically live in the places that those channels are located. You can't just say, I want local news for Greensboro, North Carolina, and find it. It has a kids mode, so if you want to put that in with a pen, you can do that. And it has a gigantic on-demand library broken down by category. And it has, a lot of things that you might be surprised to find. I mean, these aren't, some sort of 1970s old movies. They aren't the brand new movies. But they are a lot of the movies from Paramount Studios that can, really pass the time, entertain you. Another service that might surprise you that has free things is Vudu. Vudu from Fandango has long been a on-demand purchasing option, but a number of years ago they invested in free ad-supported television. All you have to do is go down into its free section, and you see they even have a new free section, new to free. This doesn't necessarily mean that it's new movies, like movies that came out last year. It just means that it's new to Vudu's free section. Though in some cases, things aren't all that old. Terrifier 2. That was like the big story a year or so ago. This is making people throw up because it was so violent. I've never seen it. But you'll see, under this, there is a lot of categories. There are tons and tons of choices from, you got your horror genre, your comedies. It just goes on and on. And it has a nice breakdown. Like if you go specifically to the movies section, you'll be able to find lots of different things from different perspectives. Jumping into the genre, you can actually get a full scope. So here, we're just going to jump in and check out comedies. And you see everything from the kids type stuff to maybe the later night PG-13 rated R stuff. This isn't necessarily one where you just sit your kids down and say, watch whatever you want, because they might accidentally rent something. So you do want to be careful with that. Sometimes you might think, I really do want to see that, but I don't want to see it with ads. So they give you the choice to rent and or buy. After all, that is their core business. Up next, we're going to jump in to Plex. Plex, again, is another one of those sneaky ones because it offers so many different things. A lot of people know it as the place to store your own things and access them. But Plex, long ago, started offering free movies and TV shows and has really built a reputation around the world for its selection and ease of use. You'll see that it initially starts on its on-demand section with sort of like its own listing. Most watched on Plex, which they obviously track. They have their own curated Plex picks section. And then they break things down in, by theme. Not so much genre, but by theme. If you want genre, you're just going to jump up to where it says categories. And they've got a nice color-coded category section. Every group has its own look. You see a good selection of classic and newer westerns. Looks like it leans a little more towards the classic older. But it has a lot to see. And you can even look in it by brands. So, they have partnerships with a lot of different studios and libraries. Popcornflix and Crackle. You'll find, actually, that Crackle and Popcornflix are owned by the same company, Chicken Soup for the Soul, and we'll be featuring one of their channels further along in the video. Fans of Hallmark might be happy to see that there is a Hallmark section with, in fact, Christmas movies and other things. All right. Now, you can hardly do a channel guide for free channels on the Roku without mentioning the Roku Channel. Roku Channel is interesting in that one of its big key features is that it has its own group of Roku originals. Some of these originals came along when they bought the library from Quibi after Quibi went bankrupt, but they've gone on to make other things like this. You'll see continue watching Honest Renovations. That's actually a new show. In the vein of these HGTV shows, Celebrity IOU and things like that. But their original section is large, and they've begun to get some real acclaim through things like Weird, the sort of fake biography of Weird Al Yankovic and other programming that they've put together. They also have a live TV section where you can just jump in and watch the live feed of various things. And on top of that, they even have a section that's set up like a lot of services now. It has a grid that looks more like what you would consider your traditional TV live viewing. Overall, though, the Roku Channel is searchable. It has categories and even has a kids section, so you can find things to watch for the whole family. It's good, it's free, and that's that. Up next, we're going to move into Tubi TV. Tubi is a product of Fox. They bought Tubi after it had been established after a while as a service. And they have gone on to really rise in popularity with a vast, vast selection of different types of content. Tubi was always unique. It had things like not on Netflix and only on Tubi, things like that. And you'll find that if you jump into the categories, it's a very, very exhaustive category list. Not as colorful as some, but as far as the range, it goes all the way from almost A to Z as far as what you can watch, what you can see. And they also let you know, what's leaving soon, what's new. I think it's interesting that they have a remakes channel, or a remakes section. This is TV shows and movies that are remakes. There's a lot of them out there. It's a complaint about Hollywood, but sometimes the new take on things is cool. Freshens characters up a bit. It's the pusher, not the punisher. But you can't talk about free without Xumo Play. Xumo Play is from Xumo. Xumo is actually a Comcast company. And like others with powerful studios, you're going to see a lot of content for free that you're not going to find in other places. Xumo has movies, they have TV shows. Like others, they have a listing of free live channels that are curated. But it has a lot to offer. It has news, general entertainment, and more. Now, some people can't have movies without popcorn. And so we're going to talk about Popcornflix here. Popcornflix is owned by Chicken Soup for the Soul, which also owns Crackle, and a couple of other imprints nowadays. It's a growing company. Popcornflix, like others, is free with advertisements. It has a section for new. It has a trending section of things that people are watching a lot on the service. And it has a vast selection of categories that allows you to check out movies, discover TV shows that you might not have seen, and check out some stuff that you might already know about. You'll find a lot of movies and TV shows here with actors that you know from other things. It's kind of funny. You think of somebody as that guy from that show, and it turns out they've done a million other things. But Popcornflix has always been a really strong entry in the free movies and TV show section, with a lot of stuff very much worth seeing. See a lot of Nicolas Cage, and he's had a pretty colorful career these days. Freebie is an excellent free service. It's owned by Amazon. So while it's not Amazon Prime, it has a lot of really high quality movies and TV shows. Some of them pretty darn recent and well known. Like you'll see under popular movies, you see Mr. Nobody with Bob Odenkirk, The Revenant, which was huge. And you even have a selection of Amazon originals that are available. They rotate. It says for a limited time. That means that maybe that specific thing might not be available forever. But they constantly rotate their things because, of course, part of Freebie, kind of like Pluto TV, is to get you interested enough in the content that Amazon has. So maybe you'll consider jumping in with Prime. But they have been expanding what they've got. This NBC Live section, this Universal section, this is newer. But in general, they have a large selection of classic TV shows. They have newer shows and also Amazon originals. The Roku Channel and Freebie are kind of like two sides of the same coin from different groups. But there's a lot to see. A lot to see. All you got to do is watch commercials, but that's the deal with all of these, right? And the last group we're going to talk about in this is the TCL Channel. You might think from the name that the TCL Channel was, say, exclusive to TCL branded televisions, but it is not. The TCL Channel is available as a Roku channel. Just like others, it has a large selection of live TV channels, and in some cases, these are the very same channels. I've tested the Ion channel, for instance, with my over-the-air antenna and the TCL version of the Ion channel, and there's about, 3 or 4 minutes difference in the show, but they're showing the same shows at essentially the same time as the main channel. Again, like others, it has things broken down into categories. Look at that. Who's that? The kids have on their walls. Morgan Freeman. But in general, here, they offer a lot to see. And in general, like I'm saying, there's a lot of free stuff out there. And I hear stories from friends all the time who I've shown these things to. They show it to other people, and they're like, wow, I didn't know you could see all that. I think that the subscription channels are excellent most of the time, at least the ones I've tried. But, for those that are really into cord cutting to really save some money, there are so many ways to watch TV and enjoy it between these free channels and over-the-air networks that you can use up all your time without spending up much of your money at all. I hope you found this all helpful. If you did, please subscribe. Share this video with your friends. All the regular things. Click the bell so you can be reminded when we have new content coming out. This is going to be a busy fall. I hope to see you there. As always, I'm Ryan Downey, the streaming advisor. Stream on, my friends.